The lawyer's voice echoed to the marm as he announced my cousins would each receive $2 million, and I sat there clutching a crinkled yellow envelope with my name scrawled across it in Grandpa's shaky handwriting. My aunt smirked at me from across the table, whispering loudly enough for everyone to hear, "I guess we know who the real disappointments are." 20 years of being Grandpa's shadow, of learning his business, of holding his hand through chemo while they all vanished. And this is what I got. A yellow envelope. I wanted to scream. I wanted to flip the table. But instead, I opened it with trembling hands, and what I found inside changed everything. Inside wasn't a check. It wasn't even a letter. It was a single key with an address engraved on a small metal tag, and a note that read, "The real inheritance isn't what they think it is. Go to this address alone. Trust no one. Finish what I started." My heart hammered in my chest as I stared at those words. Everyone around me was celebrating, popping champagne, discussing vacation homes and luxury cars. Meanwhile, I slipped out of that lawyer's office like a ghost, clutching that key like it was the only lifeline I had left. The address led me to a storage facility on the outskirts of town, the kind of place you'd never notice unless you were looking for it. Unit 247. My hand shook as I inserted the key, and when that metal door rolled up, I nearly collapsed. Inside wasn't just old furniture or forgotten memories. It was a complete archive of documents, ledgers, USB drives, and photographs spanning 3 decades. Grandpa had documented everything. Every shady business deal, every bribe, every illegal scheme that had built our family's fortune. But here's the thing that made my blood run cold. My aunt, the one who smirked at me, was at the center of it all. She'd been systematically stealing from Grandpa's company for 15 years, embezzling millions while manipulating family members into thinking Grandpa was losing his mind. The cousins who just inherited millions? That money wasn't even supposed to exist in the will. She'd altered documents, forged signatures, and convinced a lawyer, who turned out to be her law school boyfriend, to rewrite everything. Grandpa knew. He'd known for years. And he'd been collecting evidence the entire time, waiting for the right moment, the right person, to expose it all. He chose me because I was the only one who never wanted his money. I wanted his respect, his wisdom, his time. Things they couldn't inherit. I spent 72 hours going through everything in that unit, cross-referencing dates, scanning documents, organizing evidence. Then I did exactly what Grandpa's note told me to do. I contacted the FBI, the IRS, and sent copies of everything to 3 different investigative journalists. The fallout was nuclear. Within 2 weeks, my aunt was arrested for fraud, embezzlement, and forgery. The lawyer lost his license and faced criminal charges. The will was invalidated, and the real distribution, the one Grandpa actually intended, came to light. Turns out, he'd left the bulk of his estate to charity, with equal modest trust for all grandchildren who'd maintained regular contact with him in his final years. That disqualified most of them. Not me, but the real inheritance wasn't the money. It was watching my aunt's empire crumble, seeing those smug cousins forced to return everything, watching justice unfold exactly as Grandpa had orchestrated from beyond the grave. He'd turned me into the executor of the perfect revenge, and he'd done it by trusting me with the truth while everyone else gorged themselves on lies. The yellow envelope they all mocked? It contained the key to destroying everything they thought they'd won. And as I stood in that courtroom watching the verdicts read, I finally understood Grandpa's last lesson. Real power isn't inherited through money. It's earned through loyalty, integrity, and the patience to watch your enemies destroy themselves with their own greed. They got millions at the reading. I got justice. And that's worth infinitely more.